Okay, so this is my analysis on the V75. Firstly, I'll start off on a daily time frame just to get zones or levels that I think the market is going to bounce off. So what I figured out or what I discovered is using the time, the line chart or the line gives you a little bit of a better view of where the market bounced off. So I changed that to the line, and then I just go and pick up my horizontal um, tool and look for zones, areas where the market bounced. Like there was a bounce here, there was another bounce here. So these are areas, and you can see back in history there was another bounce here. So these are areas where the market once bounced off and went up, and here it also bounced off and went up. So I was looking for a possibility of it bouncing off here and going down, but it seems that the momentum is to the upside. So that's one. Let me just turn that one to black. I don't make them very thick because I don't want them to be so big when you go on a lower time frame. So that's one area. I'm just going to mark out at least minimum of three areas because I don't want to fill the chart with a lot of lines. And then here I'm looking for another line. So okay, I see here there was a bounce here, it came and then it broke. Okay, I'm seeing here there was also some resistance, and then but it wasn't major. So let me see if I can maybe move down and see where there was. Okay, possibly in this area here. Why I'm picking this area is because you see here the market pushed up. When it got here, there was resistance for a couple of days. Since this is on a daily chart, there was a resistance multiple times. It kept on bouncing, without having enough momentum to push to the upside. So and then it eventually broke down, and then okay, the market came back, broke through, came back and collected some buyers here, and then pushed the market through. So but on a lower time frame there might have been some resistance here. So okay, I'll rather pick this area. So I'll just try to pick the top areas, because when you go back to the candle chart, there will be wicks, so you can finally just tune where there's more touches. So okay, now what I'm expecting is, like, now I don't want to make a lot of horizontal lines. Okay, let me see. Let me look for one more area in case it breaks through here, where we might possibly expect some resistance or something. So okay, I'll put in another horizontal line. So there's this area here. It bounced here. So there was a little bit of playing here, bounced here, but broke through. So these areas here are not retested in terms of these are resistant areas that are not tested. Like it was tested here a long time ago, but it hasn't been tested. Even this one here hasn't been tested. So there's a huge possibility, since we broke through here, there's a huge possibility that the market might reverse, come back, retest this support area, because now when you break through, because this was a resistance, when you break through a resistance, that resistance turns into support. So there's a possibility that the market might come back, retest the resistance, turn into support, and then push towards this area here. So this is our OTP. I'll call it OTP, our optimal trading zone. So within this area on a daily, that's daily right here. So this is our trading area currently when we move to lower time frames. So you can just go back and look for and mark up this 87937.36 as your possible resistance. This is where you look for sell area when the market reaches there, and then here we look for buy areas at 830014. So now okay, let me remove this, and then what I'm going to do now is and this is how it looks like when you go back to the candlesticks. So on the candlesticks, you'll see like I prefer the bodies the bodies than the wicks, because if we are to choose the wicks, then our resistance is here. But I prefer the bodies, so I'm not quite sure if that's a good thing, but I prefer putting the candlesticks on the bodies and then going back on the lower time frame to really then to adjust them to where I think the market will bounce off. So what I'm going to do now, I will move to the 4-hour, and then I will not focus mainly on what happened here in the past. Okay, now like here, this current past plays an important role, but this other past here, we only use it on the daily to mark up areas where we think the market is going to bounce off or test. But when we go back to our current time frame, because this is where we are, and then we just have to now on a 4-hour, we have to refine these areas. Now we have to look for areas where the market will possibly react to. So like here you can see, okay, this area here, this support was once support, and then it broke. You can see that this red candlestick broke, and then there was a retest of this area. So whoever bought here after a retest, if you got a signal on your dark point here on a lower time frame, they sold all the way up to here. So now what I was expecting, but here there was this move here which I was expecting. The market came to this zone. I was expecting the whole time. It came to this zone, tested the zone, and then sold, and then went down. But now the problem is there's momentum to the upside. So when it came down, the market immediately pushed up and pushed with high momentum through and disrespected this area right now. So what I'm expecting currently is for the market to do. I do not have arrows. Okay, let me take this. Let me just quickly change that to. Remove the ray tool. Okay, and thin. Just sorry, I was supposed to prepare this and thin this one out. Okay, so what I'm expecting right now, since we broke through, is for the market to find support in one of these areas, and then hopefully come back for a retest of this area like this, and then look for buy signal to this area. So this is what I'm expecting, or this is what I hope the market does. Market will go up, retest, because this was a support, this was a resistance. Now it has to go back, come back and retest, retest this, turn it into a support. I mean, from resistance to support, and then push through to this level right here. That's what I'm anticipating the market to do. But the market can just continue pushing, bullish. But now if the market continues just pushing all the way, then what we should anticipate or we should expect is the market coming all the way here and retesting and bouncing off that to the downside. But still, there's a possibility that there will be a little bit of this movement, because the market always has to retest a zone for you to get a good entry. Then after a retest of a zone. So if the market does that, then there's a possibility that we might push back to the lower side. That's what I'm anticipating, but we don't know what the market is going to do. So now the bias or the idea right now is for the market to come down. If there's a candle that comes down, it might not touch this zone right here because there's this wick here. So there's a possibility that the market might come back and bounce off this little wick here. But like I said, I prefer the bodies, so I'll put it here. So there's a possibility that the market might come down just a little bit, retest, just a quick retest without reaching this area, and look for and then we look for buys. So that's what I'm anticipating right now. So that's my analysis on V75. But let me go in on a low, because this is a 4-hour. Obviously we can't trade it. We can't enter. When you analyze, like on a 4-hour, the entry should be on a 1 hour. So let's go to the 1 hour and see what's happening. Okay, so this was that's the red candle that has the red candle that we waited for on the 1 hour. So it broke through a little bit, but on the 4 hour it did not close. Like when you go back on the 4 hour, you can see that that candle, this shooting star here, did not close. It just broke through, but did not close above that the previous resistance. So it pushed through and then momentum to the upside. So on a 1 hour, this is what we are looking at. We are waiting for either the market to go touch there and come back and possibly push through, or touch there, come back, get momentum to push through and continue with this bullish move to the upside. But one thing that I noticed, I kind of noticed only yesterday, I was like, I always have a problem with drawing my support and my trend lines. I know some people are good at trend lines; they can easily, mark a trend line like that, and they are good at picking up trend lines. So for me, I've always had a problem with trend lines. But what I realized today was, like yesterday, was I see it clear. Because of the wicks, I don't. Sometimes I confuse. I'm not quite sure whether I should put it on the wick or I should put it on the body or blah blah blah. So I kind of tend to sometimes lose trade because it's either my trend line was too far or too close to the candle or something like that. So what I noticed, if I use the line graph and then use and mark 3 points, because with the trend line it has to be touched. The trend line has to touch at least three points for it to be a strong trend line. So you can mark out, let me say, like here, yeah, this was a nice trend line. Like you see, when you use the line graph, you can easily identify, or for me, that's what I've noticed. You can easily see clearly where the market touched and touched again and then did another touch here. And here I actually entered this trade here. I entered this trade with anticipation that the market is going to go down. So from here up to here, I made like a 20. And then I was when it gave me this push down, I thought, we are going down. But unfortunately, it continued pushing. But I re-entered somewhere and made another 20. But anyway, so I think the best way to draw the trend lines is to use the line and then go back to the candlestick, and then you can see nicely that you see the candle, and then you can after sorry, I'm not getting a little bit. Yeah, but anyway, after you use your lines, when you go back to the sticks, you can see that the candlesticks touch nicely on these zones, nicely. Like you get all the nice 1, 2, 3 points, and it pushed up a very perfect trend line there that one can use. So even if you are to go on a lower time frame, I think it could be nice if when you analyze or when you try to figure out which trend line to use, just go on the line graph, pick up your 3 points of contact, like let's say like this one here, your 3 points of contact, nicely like that. Here's your 3 points. You can see it made the first contact here, it came close, but obviously when you put the line, when you put your candlestick, it was a contact. There's a contact there, there's another contact. So 1, 2, the third one you buy. When you go there it is. It came 1, 2, the third one it went. So I think it's for me, it gives me a very clear point of contact when I use the line instead of the candlestick. Because with the candlestick, like I said, I'll be in my head, it will be all in my head. Should I cut through this can here? Should I cut through here? So I tend to to miss out on the trade because I'm not sure where or how to place the thing. But since yesterday, I realized that now if I use the line graph, it's easy for me to pick up the points nicely, and then I go back to the candle, and the line just sits exactly where I anticipated it to sit, or where I'm expecting it to sit. So like I said, we will wait. If I'll be awake, we'll wait to see if the market gives us a retest of this area. If there's no retest in this zone right now, you can, when you go on your 1 hour, if you're using PC, 1 hour, mark up this trend line right here, because there's a possibility that this trend line, not possibility, but this trend line needs to be respected. If it comes back down, we should anticipate a buy in this area right here. So if you see the market coming down in this area, just make sure that you go on a lower time frame with your with that signal indicator that you have. Okay, it's not appearing enough. So we have to go back on a lower time frame. When it comes in this area, put in a buy, but do not forget to use risk management on it, because it might come down a little bit and push it up. But we should anticipate, if it comes in this area, it has to respect this trend line, and then we buy. So yeah, that's my analysis on V75. For us with small accounts, we trade based off the 1 hour. We can't use the 4 hour and stuff. For 1 hour, we analyze on the 1 hour. Get your trend lines on the 1 hour. Move to your lower time frame when you see areas of resistance like this. Is possible. This is also like here. There's a huge possibility right now, since there's a huge momentum to the upside. There's a huge possibility that it might bounce off on the top one. But let's see how it does. If it bounces off the top one and continues, we wait for a bounce and a retest in this area, or a bounce and a signal in this area. We move down. So that's my current analysis for V75. I know I went beyond my limited my time, but yeah, that's what I'm anticipating.